Mr. President, on this occasion of your birthday, this lovely lady, Marilyn Monroe.
Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, Mr. President.
Behind the glitz and glamour of classic cinema, there are many untold tragic tales. Many of the celebrities we adore faced harrowing ordeals long before they became established. Some even endured unfathomable challenges even as their fame soared. Their lives, often portrayed as perfect, held a darker reality piercing through the facade of stardom to reveal enduring pain and hardship. How horrid were the experiences of these people? Join us as we delve into the most tragic real-life stories from classic cinema. Number 10. Tragic real-life story of Marilyn Monroe. Nearly 6 decades after Marilyn Monroe's passing, her face remains a lasting symbol of Hollywood glamour. Yet, behind that famous smile, lay a life marked by profound tragedy and hardship. Born Norma Jean Mortensen on June 1, 1926, she entered a world clouded by uncertainty. Her father's identity remained a mystery, and her mother, Gladys Baker, was grappling with mental health issues and struggled to provide a stable home. These circumstances triggered one of the most tragic real-life stories from classic cinema. Monroe's early life was marked by frequent changes in guardianship. Placed in foster care, she endured the instability of 12 different homes, many of which were neglectful or abusive. A traumatic incident during her childhood led to a stutter, and she encountered instances of sexual assault, shaping her troubled youth. However, amidst the turbulence, there were brief moments of stability. Living with Grace McKee, a close friend of her mother, and later with Grace's aunt, Anna Lower, provided some semblance of love and care in an otherwise tumultuous upbringing. At 16, she married James Doherty, but their marriage was short-lived. Monroe's life took a turn when she found herself working at a defense plant during World War II. A chance encounter with a photographer set her on a path toward Hollywood. Despite a rocky start in the industry, her modeling career opened doors, leading to her first movie contract with Fox. Her fame began to ascend, but the journey wasn't without its challenges. Monroe faced financial struggles and even posed nude for a photographer, Tom Kelly, in exchange for $50 to pay for a car. The photos, initially a necessity, later became famous and controversial. Her personal life was fraught with challenges too. Relationships with Joe DiMaggio and Arthur Miller, her second and third husbands respectively, were marked by struggle. DiMaggio's possessiveness clashed with Monroe's desire for independence. Miller, despite his literary acclaim, struggled to understand her emotional needs, leading to an eventual split. Monroe's journey in Hollywood was marred by her battle with stage fright and self-doubt. Her insecurities often surfaced on set, leading to delays and multiple takes. Despite her image as a Hollywood bombshell, she yearned to showcase her talent beyond the confines of a stereotype. Her longing for stability extended to her desire for motherhood, but tragic miscarriages and health issues dashed those hopes. Endometriosis compounded her pregnancy challenges, contributing to several failed pregnancies and alleged rumors of abortions, driven by the harsh clauses imposed by Hollywood studios on female stars. Amidst her struggles, Monroe grappled with mental health issues, seeking solace in medication and facing bouts of depression. Her untimely death, officially ruled a probable suicide due to a barbiturate overdose, stirred controversy and conspiracy theories that persist to this day. Conflicting accounts surrounding her final days continue to fuel speculation about the true circumstances of her passing. Number 9. Tragic story of Charlie Chaplin. Born into a family entrenched in the world of vaudeville, Charlie Chaplin's father, Charles Chaplin Sr., was a rising star in British theater. However, their family life turned bleak when Charles Sr. abandoned them, leaving Charlie and his mother, Hannah, in dire financial straits. Amidst grinding poverty, exacerbated by Charles Sr.'s alcoholism, young Charlie's childhood was marked by hardship and instability. Hannah, despite the challenges, endeavored to provide for her son, occasionally entertaining him with vaudeville routines. Yet, tragedy persisted as Hannah's mental health deteriorated. leading to her institutionalization. Charlie and his brother were left in a workhouse, their upbringing marred by deprivation and minimal schooling. At a young age, Charlie was already drawn to his mother's vaudeville career, imitating her routines. His first performance was an impromptu act, stepping in for his voiceless mother during a show. However, their difficulties continued, with Charlie's upbringing largely devoid of stability and formal education. Struggling to make ends meet, he took on a myriad of odd jobs to survive. His breakthrough in vaudeville came in the early 20th century, allowing him to move back into the entertainment sphere. His foray into motion pictures, starting with Max Sennett's Signing in 1912, catapulted him to stardom, creating iconic characters and directing his films by 1915. Yet, behind the scenes, Chaplin's persona took a darker turn. He was known for his demanding nature, reshooting scenes excessively and micromanaging productions. However, his off-screen life was marked by scandals and controversial relationships. His relationships with young starlets, including Mildred Harris and Lita Gray, led to tumultuous marriages and controversies. Rumors of shooting incidents and paternity suits embroiled Chaplin in legal battles and tarnished his public image. Despite his immense popularity during the Great Depression and World War II, Chaplin faced severe criticism for his perceived pro-Soviet sympathies. His vocal support for the Soviet Union and alleged communist ties brought him under scrutiny, contributing to his eventual blacklisting from Hollywood and his voluntary exile from the United States in 1952. The latter part of Chaplin's life saw him settling in Switzerland, away from the limelight. He continued to make films but faced challenges, including limited success and personal tragedies. His final years were marked by relative seclusion, and even after his passing, his legacy faced a bizarre incident of attempted grave robbery. Number 8. Tragic Story of Shirley Temple. Born on April 23, 1928, her journey to stardom commenced at the tender age of 3, when her mother, Gertrude, recognizing her innate talent, enrolled her in dance classes. But there was a personal drive behind this move. Gertrude had dreams of a dancing career herself and sought to live vicariously through her daughter. At the dance school, Shirley was spotted by producers from Educational Films Corporation, leading to her involvement in baby burlesques.
Ain't that right, baby? Absolutely no copy time. Hey, Martin!
These comedic shorts, although named educational, were more satirical than instructional. Shirley's early roles in these films, including an exotic dancer character at the age of 5, introduced her to the harsh realities of showbiz at a remarkably young age. Her breakthrough arrived when Fox Film Corporation, later merging into 20th Century Fox, noticed her talents. Songwriter Jake Gurney played a pivotal role in bringing Shirley to Fox after seeing her in Frolics of Youth, another series produced by Educational Pictures. This led to her debut in Stand Up and Cheer in 1933, marking the beginning of her meteoric rise in Hollywood. Her talent propelled her into the spotlight, and soon she was headlining films like Little Miss Marker and Bright Eyes, which featured her most iconic song, On the Good Ship Lollipop.
On the good ship, lollipop, it's a sweet trip to a candy shop.
Between 1935 and 1938, Shirley Temple reigned as Hollywood's top box office draw, a remarkable feat given the era's notable stars like Bing Crosby and Clark Gable. Her movies, often featuring an optimistic orphan, served as a beacon of hope during the economic distress of the Depression. Temple's popularity wasn't confined to the screen, too. Her likeness spawned a range of products from dolls to raincoats, becoming a cultural phenomenon. Despite her immense earnings, Shirley Temple didn't reap the full rewards of her success. Her father, George, became her manager, advocating for salary increases that, unfortunately, benefited him more than his daughter. By her early 20s, although she had earned millions, financial mismanagement left her with a fraction of her wealth. Shirley faced numerous challenges in her career, including mistreatment on film sets and inappropriate advances from older men in the industry. Rumors about her age and appearance plagued her, leading even the Vatican to investigate her true age at one point. As she grew older, the industry found it hard to cast her in roles, signaling the end of her prolific acting career. Transitioning away from Hollywood, Shirley Temple delved into politics, serving in various diplomatic roles under Presidents Nixon and Ford. Her advocacy for breast cancer awareness, marked by her openness about her mastectomy in 1972, broke taboos around discussing illnesses in the public eye, emphasizing women's agency in healthcare decisions. Her legacy extended beyond entertainment and politics, as she continued to contribute to various organizations, earning accolades like the Screen Actors Guild Lifetime Achievement Award and the Kennedy Center Honors. Shirley Temple passed away on February 10, 2014, leaving behind a profound legacy as an entertainer, diplomat, and advocate. Her impact is cherished by millions worldwide. Number 7. Tragic real-life story of Judy Garland. Judy Garland's story isn't all glittering stardom and fame. It's a tale marked by immense struggle, starting from her early days in showbiz. Her mom, Ethel Gum, a former vaudeville performer herself, was the driving force behind Garland's entry into the industry. Despite her push for success, Garland's relationship with her mom was far from ideal. She once referred to her as the real Wicked Witch of the West, due to her demanding and often mean-spirited behavior. At just 13, Garland landed a major movie contract with MGM after an impressive audition with Louis B. Mayer, one of the studio's founders. But her time at MGM wasn't the dream she'd hoped for. Despite her incredible talent, she faced harsh treatment from the studio. They monitored her weight and often controlled her food intake, leaving her in a constant state of hunger. This pressure took a toll on her body image for the rest of her life. MGM's relentless schedules meant Garland worked grueling hours, sometimes up to 18 hours a day, 6 days a week. To keep up with the demands and maintain her figure, the studio provided her with drugs, amphetamines for energy and sleeping pills to calm her down. This dependency on drugs haunted her throughout her career. The studio system wasn't just tough physically, it was emotionally and psychologically damaging. Garland faced inappropriate advances and harassment from studio executives from a young age. She revealed disturbing instances of unwanted advances and abuse, which she bravely stood up against at 20 years old, despite facing threats and intimidation. Garland's struggles weren't confined to her professional life, though. Her personal relationships, especially with her children, were affected by her drug addiction. Her son, Joey Luft, recounted her erratic behavior due to her drug dependency, creating a challenging environment for her children. Even her daughter Liza Minnelli shared insights into the extremes of Garland's emotions, noting her mother's bipolar behavior. The trauma of her childhood, coupled with her drug reliance, caused significant turmoil in her adult life, although Garland often denied having substance abuse problems in public interviews. Her ex-husband, Sid Luft, revealed her dependency on drugs was a means to cope with the pressures of maintaining her image as a movie star. Her struggle with mental health and addiction led to several suicide attempts and bouts of depression, adding to the chaos in her life. Despite moments of fame and success, Garland faced severe financial troubles later in her career, leading her to perform in bars for a mere $100 per night. Towards the end, Garland seemed to grapple with the complexities of her life, expressing a mix of defiance and resignation about her struggles and her legacy. Despite her immense talent, the pressures of Hollywood, personal trauma, and addiction took their toll, eventually leading to her untimely death at 47 from an accidental overdose. Number 6. Tragic details about Jackie Gleason. Jackie Gleason, one of the 20th century's iconic stars, had a life riddled with turmoil behind his famous smile. Born on February 26, 1916, he was named Herbert John Gleason. However, Jackie, the nickname given to him by his mother, Maisie, stuck. Growing up in the impoverished area of Bushwick, Brooklyn, his father's abandonment at the age of 9 was just the start of his family's tragedies. His older brother Clement's untimely death from spinal meningitis when Jackie was 3 devastated the family even further. Maisie, now more protective of her only remaining child, shielded Jackie from the world outside, leaving him to watch other kids play from behind a window pane. With Maisie's passing when he was 19, Jackie was left homeless and nearly penniless, starting his adult life with only 36 cents to his name. Despite offers of support from his girlfriend's family, Jackie embarked on a path to make ends meet. He hustled, working as a carnival barker, a daredevil driver, and eventually as an entertainer in nightclubs across New York, New Jersey, and Pennsylvania. His journey towards stardom was fraught with struggles. His knack for entertainment landed him small movie roles and later parts in Broadway musical comedies.
Teach me a mambo. Oh, sure, it'll be a pleasure, yeah?
By the age of 34, he had his own TV variety show, paving the way for his role as Minnesota Fats in The Hustler. Interestingly, his skill in the film as a pool player was no act.
6 in the corner.
He worked in a pool hall as a boy, honing his craft to support his family in their impoverished state. Marriage didn't come easy for Jackie either. His first wife, Genevieve Halford, with whom he had 2 daughters, faced the strain of his penchant for a wild social life. Despite multiple separations and reconciliations, their marriage eventually ended in divorce. Jackie's second marriage to Beverly McKittrick lasted only 10 days before his rekindled flame with Marilyn Taylor led to another marriage, which lasted until his passing.
Jackie Gleason was married just moments ago to his third bride, Marilyn Monroe.
Jackie's heavy drinking and partying habits colored his personal and professional life. His raucous lifestyle caused disturbances in hotels, and his behavior, influenced by alcohol, wasn't always pleasant. He was a demanding co-worker, reluctant to rehearse, and often unpredictable on set, causing tension among his colleagues. His relationship with co-star Art Carney, despite their on-screen chemistry and The Honeymooners, was strained due to mutual insecurities and clashes in professionalism. As his health deteriorated, Gleason grappled with taking on another movie role in Nothing in Common, ultimately giving a compelling performance in his final film. Sadly, his health issues, including colon cancer, caught up with him, leading to his passing at age 71.
He called himself the Great One, and fans agreed. Jackie Gleason died of cancer last night at his Florida home.
Despite his turbulent life and personal challenges, Jackie Gleason's legacy as a multifaceted entertainer remains etched in the annals of show business. Now it's time for today's subscriber pick. The Three Stooges were part of a lively vaudeville act named Ted Healy and His Stooges in 1925. Ted Healy, the main comedian, would try singing or cracking jokes while his rowdy assistants intentionally interrupted him.
Famous say we'll soon live, you're a pig.
Hey, Healy, where'd you get that voice? The foghorn store?
Healy's response was often to verbally and physically abuse his stooges. These comedians honed their skills, but their behind-the-scenes tale wasn't all sunshine. Their most heartbreaking setback hit in December 1957, when the Three Stooges were shockingly fired from Columbia Pictures. This incident makes their story rank among the most tragic real-life stories from classic cinema, as things got worse from there. For 24 years, they churned out low-budget shorts, generating millions for the studio, while getting comparatively meager pay. There wasn't even a simple farewell or thank you when they were let go. But the cruelest twist came when Moe attempted to bid a final goodbye to studio heads, only to be blocked at the gates by a security guard for lacking the current year's studio pass. Adding salt to the wound, Columbia had enough finished films stored to release for the next 18 months even after their departure. It's a bitter mystery why Columbia Pictures axed these talented comedians. Why do you think they made such a shocking decision? Share your thoughts in the comments section below. Number 5. Tragic details about Dick Van Dyke. If there's a name synonymous with comedy in Hollywood, it's Dick Van Dyke. His legendary career, filled with laughter, hides a multitude of struggles and hardships, from relationship woes to battles with addiction. Despite his infectious happiness on screen, there's more to Dick Van Dyke than meets the eye. You might remember him best as the crime-solving Dr. Mark Sloan in Diagnosis Murder, but his extensive filmography is peppered with roles that showcased his knack for physical comedy and exuberant goofiness. Surprisingly, this comedic genius battled extreme shyness, making it challenging for him to approach strangers. To overcome this, he turned to alcohol, which initially helped but ultimately led to a prolonged battle with addiction. Van Dyke fought his alcohol addiction for years, only managing to conquer it later in life. His openness about his struggles inspired many dealing with similar issues. However, this battle took a toll on his mental health, plunging him into depression and even thoughts of self-harm. His journey back to sobriety wasn't a solitary effort. He sought help from rehab and Alcoholics Anonymous. The Dick Van Dyke Show became a classic, but the road to its creation was paved with hurdles. Originally not intended to star Van Dyke, the show's creator, Carl Reiner, saw his initial lead character fail and then offered the role to Van Dyke, who took the opportunity and made it his own. In 2013, at the age of 87, Van Dyke faced a life-threatening situation when his sports car caught fire while driving in California. Miraculously, he emerged unharmed from the burning vehicle, showcasing his unwavering spirit even in moments of danger. Dick Van Dyke remained active even in his later years, engaging in daily gym workouts and advocating for advanced age fitness. However, his past struggles, such as his battle with nicotine addiction due to heavy smoking, took a toll on his health, leading to pneumonia and a collapsed lung. Amidst his professional successes, Van Dyke's personal life saw its share of trials. His extramarital affair led to the end of his marriage with Margie Willett, and later the loss of his longtime partner, Michelle Triola, in 2009. His iconic performance as Bert in Mary Poppins stands as a masterpiece, but his attempt at a Cockney accent in the film drew considerable criticism. Despite the years, this critique remained a point of contention for Van Dyke, who used his 2017 BAFTA speech to apologize for what he deemed the atrocious accent. Number 4. Tragic real-life story of Macaulay Culkin. For more than 30 years, Home Alone has been a Christmas staple for Americans, with Macaulay Culkin's portrayal of Kevin charming families through generations. Despite its huge success, Macaulay as Kevin didn't align with the spotlight. Acting was a dream his dad pushed on all 7 of his kids. Macaulay happened to be the most successful, but by age 13, he had had enough. This triggered one of Hollywood's tragic tales regarding child stars, drugs, arrests, and a strange connection with Michael Jackson. The Culkins, with their 7 children, lived in a cramped New York City apartment. Macaulay, or Mac, started acting at 4, not because he loved it, but because it was his dad's unfulfilled dream. His father, Kit Culkin, a dancer-actor, aimed for his kids to make it big, having missed fame himself due to a mishap during a play. It started as a family affair. Shane, the eldest, was meant to follow in his dad's footsteps. However, Macaulay, an exceptional dancer and daring performer, stole the limelight. Soon after a string of hits, Home Alone happened, changing everything. John Hughes wrote it with Macaulay in mind, and the film soared to unimaginable heights, making him a box office sensation. But behind the scenes, Macaulay didn't have much say. His father negotiated his deals and controlled his career. Macaulay felt this pressure early on, and after Home Alone 2, the decline began. Films post his iconic success didn't hit the same mark, leaving him in a tough spot. His father's grip only tightened, and Macaulay felt trapped. The pressure led to a decade-long break from acting. Macaulay tried to live a normal life, but the spotlight chased him. He embraced a counterculture lifestyle, causing media frenzy and speculation, painting him as a troubled former child star. His personal life also had its ups and downs. A tumultuous marriage, the heartbreaking loss of his sister Dakota, and a rocky relationship with Michael Jackson. All these factors shaped his troubled journey. Legal battles with his father, a public breakup, and rumors about his health followed. It was a stormy period. Paris offered respite, where Macaulay found solace in anonymity for 4 years. But life eventually brought him back to the US, where he met Brenda Song, his now wife, on set. Their relationship brought new meaning to his life. They welcomed a son, Dakota, named after Macaulay's late sister. Today, at 43, Macaulay seems to have found stability and peace. He's back in acting, embracing projects and fatherhood, carving his path. Despite the hardships, He's grateful for the opportunities, but his journey stands as a reminder of the darker side of fame and the complexities of childhood stardom. Number 3. Tragic real-life story of Grace Kelly. Grace Kelly's impact on the film industry and her eventual life as a royal figure in Monaco created an intriguing narrative that blends tragedy and fascination. She was born into a wealthy Irish Catholic family in Philadelphia, and she faced social barriers despite her family's affluence. Discrimination against Irish Catholics persisted within the upper echelons of society, hindering their full acceptance. Grace's father, Jack Kelly, a successful construction magnate, built an opulent home in East Falls, Philadelphia, rivaling those of the elite. Kelly's upbringing was amidst a family deeply involved in athletics and showbiz. Her father, an Olympic gold medalist in rowing, and her mother, a model and swimmer, expected their children to be outgoing. However, Grace was notably introverted, suffering from health issues like asthma, which set her apart from her siblings. Her pursuit of acting was met with disapproval from her family, particularly her father, who likened actresses to streetwalkers. Despite family opposition, Grace found support from her uncle George Kelly, a Pulitzer Prize-winning playwright, who mentored her into Hollywood's realm. Initially, Kelly struggled to establish herself in New York, taking up modeling and diligently refining her accent and appearance. Her conservative and refined demeanor during auditions, including the unusual choice of wearing white gloves, made an impression, leading to her eventual breakthrough in Hollywood. Gary Cooper's endorsement opened doors for Kelly in films like High Noon alongside Cooper himself and Mogambo with Clark Gable. Alfred Hitchcock also became a significant influence, casting her in several of his films, leading to her Academy Award win for The Country Girl. Kelly's romantic life intertwined with her career, with relationships often involving older, established men from Hollywood. Her engagement and marriage to Prince Rainier III of Monaco altered her trajectory, transforming her into a princess and requiring her to renounce her American citizenship and acting career. The royal life wasn't the fairy tale it seemed. Rainier's disapproval of her former profession led to a ban on her films in Monaco, thwarting her desire for a comeback. Despite this, she felt a longing for acting until her untimely death. Her marriage and royal duties seemingly distanced her from her children, leading to strained relationships. Her tragic death in a car accident while driving with her daughter Stephanie in 1982 stunned the world, leaving behind a legacy that merged Hollywood glamour with the complexity of royal life. Number 2. Tragic details about Don Knotts. Don Knotts, forever etched in memory as the lovable Deputy Sheriff Barney Fife on The Andy Griffith Show, had a life story that echoed both triumphs and trials. Beyond the laughter he brought to the small screen, Knotts faced a series of challenges, from a difficult childhood to battles with insomnia, pill addiction, and later severe health issues. Born Jesse Donald Knotts in 1924 in Morgantown, West Virginia, Knotts' early years were marred by a troubled family life. His father, Jesse Sr., grappling with schizophrenia and alcoholism, was bedridden by the time Knotts was born. His childhood was marked by an atmosphere of fear and abuse, living in a household fraught with turmoil and instability. This tumultuous upbringing left a deep emotional impact on young Don, affecting his health and well-being. His relationship with his siblings, especially his older brothers, was also complex. While they shared moments of humor, they were also plagued by alcoholism and fights, which tragically led to the death of his brother William, nicknamed Shadow, due to an asthma attack. These experiences left Don Knotts scarred and longing for happiness in his life. Finding solace in imaginary characters and coping mechanisms, Knotts struggled through his early years. His teenage years, however, marked a turning point, allowing him to understand himself as he navigated high school, gaining popularity and assuming leadership roles. Enlisting in the military during World War II, Knotts found a unique place as part of a comedy troupe, entertaining troops in the Pacific. It was during this time that his comedic talent was recognized, paving the way for his post-war career. Moving to New York City with a dream and a meager sum, he embarked on an arduous journey in show business. Rejections and setbacks were commonplace until he found his footing in Broadway, eventually leading to his partnership with Andy Griffith and the pivotal role of Barney Fife. Knotz's success on screen was not without personal struggles, though. Wrestling with feelings of inferiority and anxiety, he battled hypochondria and insomnia, leading to an addiction to anti-anxiety medication. His success often clashed with his internal conflicts, leaving him in a perpetual struggle to reconcile his on-screen persona with his private self. Leaving the Andy Griffith Show after 5 seasons, Knotts ventured into movies, securing several roles that showcased his comedic genius. However, he didn't get the fame he wanted, leading to a shift in his career trajectory. Amid his professional highs and lows, Knotts faced a health crisis with a diagnosis of macular degeneration, impacting his eyesight and limiting his capabilities. Despite this challenge, he continued working while navigating the progressive deterioration of his vision. Hosting his own variety show seemed a promising venture, but The Don Knotts Show met an untimely end despite efforts to revive its success. In the early 2000s, Knotts faced a new battle with lung cancer. Supported by friends like Andy Griffith, he fought against the illness with resilience and humor until his passing in 2006. His daughter Karen Knotts reflected on his humor and resilience even in his final moments, regretting not sharing more laughter with her father during his last days. Number 1. Tragic real-life story of the Marx Brothers. The Marx Brothers, also known for their comedic genius, lived lives marked by far more than laughter and slapstick. From their challenging upbringing to their infamous legal battles, they encountered a fair share of heartache. Originally thought of as a group of 5, there was indeed a 6th Marx brother, Manfred Marx, also known as Manny. Born to Sam and Minnie Marx, Manfred's life was fleeting, living only 7 months before passing away due to complications, likely arising from influenza on July 18, 1886. His death profoundly affected his parents, particularly Sam and Minnie, who then showered their eldest surviving son, Leonard, whose stage name is Chico, with extra love and attention. Groucho Marx, born Julius Henry Marx, faced his own struggles within the family dynamic. As a middle child, he often sought parental approval, but found himself overshadowed by his older brothers. Despite yearning for recognition at home, Groucho excelled in school, gaining solace through academic achievements. However, financial hardships curtailed his educational dreams, forcing him into the workforce at a young age and derailing his aspirations of becoming a doctor. Harpo, the silent master of physical comedy, endured a childhood marked by persecution. As one of the few Jewish kids in a predominantly Irish and Italian neighborhood, he faced bullying and mistreatment, leading to his premature exit from formal schooling. Harpo's encounters with bullies and a teacher's cruel treatment left indelible emotional scars, steering him away from traditional education. Back to Chico, his life was marred by a long-standing gambling addiction, which originated in his youth. His penchant for gambling, which started at a tender age, followed him throughout his life, escalating as his career blossomed. His debts accumulated over time, creating financial turmoil that impacted his family and career. Zeppo, the youngest Marx brother, struggled to establish himself as a comedian within the group's dynamics. Feeling confined by the straight man role he often played in their films, Zeppo eventually departed from the Marx Brothers to pursue other ventures. He found success as a talent agent and later in the engineering industry, but his personal life faced challenges and legal troubles. The Marx Brothers' journey in the entertainment industry was not without its trials. Disputes with studios, especially Paramount, over financial compensations from successful films like Monkey Business and Horse Feathers, led to prolonged legal battles that deprived them of rightful earnings. Their move to MGM under Irving Thalberg's guidance, however, brought both financial success and a gradual shift from their anarchic comedy style to more structured plots. As time passed, their personal struggles compounded. Harpo's final performance marked a poignant moment, blending classic humor with a heartfelt speech from his bar mitzvah. His passing in 1964 was a somber chapter in the Marx Brothers' legacy. Groucho, by the end of his life, suffered from various health issues and was under the care of Aaron Fleming, a companion manager whose involvement in his life led to controversy and legal battles within the family. The Marx Brothers' children found themselves entangled in intense litigation after their fathers' deaths, often battling amongst themselves and external parties over licensing and estates. Legal disputes surrounding the licensing of their likenesses and proposed projects, including a biopic and an animated TV show, have continued for years, leaving the Marx Brothers' legacy tangled in unresolved legal conflicts as of recent times. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you in the next one.